Welcome back to your markings course. What we're going to do in this lesson is add another variation of marking step in 12 across the floor. And in this case, what we're doing is we're adding a few steps to create a new variation. And the way that this marking step is created or is formed does not allow us to then automatically go to the other side. So if we go right, we're going to be in the same position to go right again, for example. So I'm going to be adding on a second marking step, so another compás, that will then move us so that we can go to the left side. The marking step that we're going to add, we're taking directly from the chapter before this one, which is marking steps in the style of soleá, and it's the lesson called a marking step across the floor in soleá, okay? So this also shows you how you can take one marking step from one 12-count style and adapt it to another by creating a little bit more energy or a little less energy depending on what the style is asking for, right? So in soleá, for example, while there's not less energy, it's often slower. So the energy feels very different. It feels very solemn. It feels very stretched. In alegrias, for example, the energy is higher in that the tempo and the speed is higher, and there's much more of an energetic pep in our step. There's more joy in our step, right? Because alegrias is more joyful in nature, okay? So it's a really great way to try to start taking marking steps from other styles and adapting them to new styles, right? Which is what we want to do in flamenco as we start to create our own pieces, for example, or as we start to understand styles differently. We want to be able to use all of the tools in our toolbox to adapt them wherever we see fit, okay? So what we're going to do is learn the new step first, and then add the marking step that we learned in the style of soleá and adapt it to alegrias. And then, to end this lesson, we're going to be putting together all of the marking steps, all 4 of the marking steps that move across the floor to create one full letra in alegrias plus its coletilla. So in this way, you're going to be able to dance a full verse and chorus in the style of alegrias, using all of the marking steps that we've thus seen so far that move across the floor, okay? So we're going to get started. Let's look at just the feet of this new marking step. So we're here. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, you're seeing a pattern, I hope, that the beginning of the marking steps moving across the floor often start the same exact way until the 6th. And then around the 6th, the second half of the compás, we start to create variations. You can certainly add variations earlier, but often, more often than not, the beginning is somewhat similar, the end is where we see the variation, okay? So again, the same beginning as the previous marking steps. We have 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're going to do this. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? Facing forward for a moment so we can learn this together. We're double tapping. We're standing on one side twice. So it's 7, 8, 9, and then simultaneous tap and lift your left leg. 10, 11, 12. Okay? So again, second half of the compás, we're here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And one more time. And 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so back to the beginning. We're going to now work in our orientation, which is diagonal. Remember, this marking step, I'm not going to go over all of the posture that we went over in previous marking steps, all the points around our posture, but it's the same. Keep your body open to the front. Torso is moving at a diagonal as our body works sideways. Okay, so we have those 3 points that we've talked about. Left shoulder pulling back, torso facing our diagonal, but we're moving sideways. Okay, let's do it. from the top of our compás. 7, 8, 9, 10. Just feet. And 12. Step in front. 3. Step behind. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And now let's try on the left side. Same exact thing. 7, 8, 9, 10. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And again to our left. 7, 8, 9, 10. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double tap right, double tap left as you lift your knee and you step out. So now you see that I'm still on the left side and that I've stepped out of my 12, which is the first step of another compás. So we have to add a compás to then get back to the other side. And again, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be adding the most simplified form of this across the floor marking step, which we originally learned in the style of Soleá. So what we're going to do is this. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 8, 10. So now we can go to the left. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. Okay? While I'm making those steps big so that you can really see it's clear in our video lesson, as the music comes on, you'll find that it's faster. And so, of course, when things are faster, you want to condense and make your steps smaller. Okay, so I would not recommend making these so big. I'm just trying to make them look clear. But really, up to speed, you're going to want to do more like ba, 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 da, 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 da. So nice and small. Da, 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 da. Okay? Okay, so now let's look at the arms. So for the first compás, we're actually just going to keep the arms here. So really simple. We're just going to do this. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 1, 2. And then this is just like we learned in this lesson, across the floor in Soleá. Arm comes up on our 5, and then 6, arms come down to the right. 8, they come center. 10, they come up. And we're ready to go again on the other side. Okay? So the arms for the first compás again stay right here. And for the second compás, 12, 1, 2, arm travels up. E, 6, 8, 10. And then we do the same thing on the other side. 12, they stay here for the first compás. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now it's going to start to travel up. 6, 8, 10. And back to our beginning. Okay? Remember that the lesson about that second compás, so the second compás that we're doing, there's a whole lesson dedicated to it. It will break it down slowly because it's in the style of Soleá. And that lesson's in the first chapter of this course. Okay? So it's just in Soleá, marking step across the floor. Let's try this with our music. And then what I'm going to do is have us put this together with our marking step that includes a turn and the other marking step that includes a lift of our knee. And in that way, we're using all 4 of our across the floor marking steps that we looked at in this course. And we're going to be doing those again to Alegrias, to a full verse and a full chorus of Alegrias. Okay? But first, let's do these 2 marking steps. Right, left, just to a solo compás track in Alegrias. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. E, 12, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 3, 6, 8, 10, E, 12, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 3, 6, 8, 10, again, 12, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, E, 12, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 3, 6, 8, 10. One more time. 12, 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, 3, 6, 8, 10, E, 12, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 3, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Okay, let's do it one more time. Same exact thing, but now adding the guitar, what you're going to be hearing in a track with guitar in the style of Alegri. 12, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, E. Again. Okay, so now you've practiced with a solo compás track, just the compás, and then another track with the guitar. And now we're going to bring in the singing. So what we're going to be doing is this. We're going to do it once without our music. When the letra comes in, when the singing starts, we're going to wait for one compás and just try to get ready. Try to feel the compás by just bringing the arms up. And then we'll do what we just did. So we're here. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. Again, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. And now what we're going to do is 2 marking steps with our turn. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. And now, that's the end of our letra. So we're going to go into the last variation with the lift of our knee for 4. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that gets us through the chorus. So remember the coletilla. Coletilla means little tail. It's the chorus at the end of a letra in the style of alegrías. And they're generally speaking 4 bars. So 4 compás, 4 measures. And that's what we just did at the end here, using the variation with a knee lift to complete the coletilla. Now, I want to make a few notes before we do this with our music, okay? There are remates inherent in these marking steps without having to do a separate independent remate. And I want to say that because sometimes we see, fancy or more advanced choreographies in any style with really big remates, and that's beautiful. I think that's wonderful, and I think it's really exciting to see. But there's also a way to dance a letra with just these marking steps, adding little nuances with your shoulders, with your head, with a little bit more energy in the lift of your knee, for example, with a little pep in your step. That also allows us to react to the music. And often those reactions are going to happen on the 10 at the end of the compás. And we can hear the music or the singing asking for a remate, and we can respond without altering our marking step. But without altering it in that we don't do anything different. We're doing the same marking step, but we just add a little pizzazz to what we're doing. Okay? And I want you, and it's very subtle, but I want you to both dance with me when the music comes on with the cante, but also maybe sit back a few times and watch the places where I might just lift my shoulders a little bit or give a little bit more of a pep in my knee, things like that, or in my hands. Because the remates are already there, okay? And it gives you another option, especially if you're still starting out in flamenco, to dance a full piece or a full letra, at the very least, without doing anything too complicated, without anything based on fancy fast footwork or a million body percussions, okay? So I wanted to make that note because it's completely possible and beautiful to keep things simple and to add the remates with little nuances in the movements of our shoulders, head, hands, and feet, but in a different way without necessarily adding footwork and all sorts of other fancy movements. Okay, so take a moment to notice that when you're watching through our run with the cante. What we're going to do is two things. One, a run with the cante based on what we just looked at. Okay, so 2 times across the floor based on the new marking step and the very simple marking step that gets us to the other side. And then 2 marking steps with a turn, and then 4 marking steps with our pop of our knee. Okay? The first run through is just that. The second run through, I'm just showing you how you could complete a letra, one option, because there's a million ways to finish a letra. But I wanted to show you how it could be to add a llamada at the end. So the second run through, I'm adding a llamada that allows me to close this block of cante. Now that said, it depends what you're going to do in your choreography. You could end right there, right, and go on to your silencio, for example. You could end and go on to an escobilla and skip your silencio. Or you could keep doing more letras, in which case you might not do a llamada right there. You might have a little falseta of guitar and then go on to another letra. So there's just lots and lots of options. And instead of letting that overwhelm, allow that to give you a feeling of freedom in flamenco, that there's lots of ways to do everything, okay? So that's just a little tiny nugget of theory in here, but don't worry about it. We will cover more and more as we do more choreography. It'll make more sense, okay? So let's do it. One time through with the cante, second time through again with the cante, with a different ending so you can just see how we can close something. Okay, here we go.
Tierra de los liberales, calladita del mar. Hay tierra de los liberales, cállate, supiste la migración, cállate, supiste la migración. Cuando salgo me cae, ahí me llevo sal, para donde no hay, yo regalado, prima, yo regalado, cuando salgo me cae, me llevo sal. En tierra de los liberales, calladita del mar. En tierra de los liberales, cállate. canté,